Hello everybody, welcome back to Ren Gaming. Right, we have a case to look at today. This is from Silverstone. This is the Kublai. This is the KL05. So there are two versions of this. There is this one and there is one with a cutout for your window as well. Now this is quite heavily soundproofed inside, so of course if you get the windowed version, the soundproofing won't be so good. I'm trying a new layout again, trying to use the office. Downstairs is full of children and women doing children and women's things. So again, if it's a bit echoey in here, it's because there's not much in here really. But let's have a look at this awesome case. Okay, so we managed to zoom in a bit closer. This is, like I say, this new setup, so it's experimental. On the front, you can see Silverstone have given us a black plastic case, which is very nice. We have your reset buttons, we have two USB 3s, there is headphones, and there is your microphone jack, a power switch, and there is a hard drive indicator light. Lovely Silverstone badge down here. Now all of this is vented, so this stays on and your fans pull from the side. There are two 5.5 inch bays on the front if you want to put in a optical drive or a fan controller. Now this case is a little dusty, you'll have to excuse me. This blank. They are, both sides of these are blank. We'll get around to popping them off in a minute. When we look at the back, now I've got a build in this at the moment, so on the back it's pretty standard affair, to be honest. We've got yeah, motherboard. There's space here for a 120 or possibly a 140. I will have to use my tape measure of doom and have a quick look. So 140 you can get in the back, which is nice. Power supply at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 expansion slots, and there are two little grommets here if you're using external water cooling. Not that you'd really need to with this case, but there we go. And then back to this side. So this would be the side if you bought the windowed version where your window would be, but again it is this lovely black panelling which we really like. So let's have a look inside. Now these thumb screws stay on the panels, which is awesome, and you can see the insides of the panels have this kind of foam noise isolation material. Again, they're pretty sturdy. One of my subs the other day said, why do people always talk about the sturdiness of side panels? It's not as if they're structural, which is kind of true, but they do add a certain rigidity to the build. 1 minute. So, inside it's a pretty standard affair. You can see the two 2.5 inch bays at the top, and these are toolless. They have the little latches on here. You come down, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trays for your hard drives. You can either fit in your standards or you can put your SSDs in here as well. These quick release, pretty standard. You just screw your SSDs in, or your 3.5 inch drives clip in, as they all do on these machines these days. Anyway, now these do come out, these are screwed in, but you can pop these out if you need to get room to the front there. You can take both of these trays out, so in fact you could take them out and then fit a lovely fat rad in there. Like I say, there is a part build in here at the moment, so we've got a big old EVGA 1000 PA power supply in there. This is off my test bench, so it's in there because it was the only one I had spare at the time. You can see we've got a Republic Gamers motherboard in here as well, with an i7 4790K, 16 gig of 2400 Corsair RAM. There are no issues anywhere. The actual build itself was very easy when I did it, and I'll show you the clearance we have up top as well. Now if you're thinking about graphics cards, you may notice there isn't one in here. If we were putting a card in, you've got 28 centimeters, 280mm with the hard drive cages in, 5 if you take it out. But of course if you're going to put a rad in there, you would lose a little bit of that. Speaking of radiators, in the front you'll get a 240 or you'll get a 280 if there are indeed fixings. There are fixings for both, so there's fixings for a 240 or a 280. Obviously you get a 120 in there. You pop these out, you can have a big fat rad, 2 sets of fans, happy days, lots of rooms. You can have your res mounted here, up into here. We like. I want to show you the top as well. So now unfortunately when you pop these screws out they come off, but Silverstone have given us this bloody great tray into which you can put things. So you could have 2 120s or 2 140s again in the top, and then you could have your radiator and then another set of fans on the top again, or you could just put a fat rad in there, which would be nice. But I do like this idea. I mean it is a bit of wasted space, but it's nice because it keeps things out of the way. So I mean a lot of the time if you haven't got room for a standard set of 120 standard thickness, and you would struggle a little to get them in there with the cables coming through, you just pop them under that. Done. Right, so let's pop that back on. We'll go around to look at the messy back side of it. I'm just going to screw this on because like I said there is a build in this. It's Ren does things up and undoes things again, everybody. Now, you have to bear in mind that this case retails for 50 quid, just under. And I will put the exact prices in the description because I haven't got them with me. You have to excuse my amateurism, but then again, you are watching Ren Gaming. So, when we pop this round to the messy side, I just want to talk about clearance in here. Again, these thumb screws come off and they stay attached to the side panels. Now, the build I put in this was a very quick 20-minute put together, so obviously this isn't my best. But you can see there are a plethora, which is a fantastic word, of routing options on here. None of these holes are actually grommeted, but I think for the price, you know, that's what you get. But you can see on the back here we have 2 SSD mounts. We have a Samsung SSD mounted in here, and these just screw in, they clip and screw, and that holds it in place. And there are two small screws that hold the actual SSDs into the brackets. There is plenty of clearance, and there's a massive cutout here for your CPU coolers, and we've got that big air one on the front with the bracket on there. Now, there is only about 15mm for your cables, so if like me you've got quite a simple build-in, which is one graphics card, I know it's not in there at the moment, but one graphics card, an air cooler, a hard drive and an SSD, there's lots and lots of room. If in fact you had 2 cards, maybe you were going to try running some water through one of these, I think the issue would be you would struggle for space on the back to get all your cables in, but you can be creative obviously. If you were using single braided cables, you could probably flatten them through instead of using these big chunky ones we have. Making cuts and things, baby's crying, you know how it is. Anyway, let's talk about a kind of conclusion. We'll talk quickly about radiator support and a few bits and bobs. So you can get a 240 or 280 in the top. You can get a 240 or a 280 in the front. You can probably get something along the bottom because it is filtered down here as well, so you could probably fit something in there depending on the length of your power supply. So you can have 1, 2, and obviously you can get a 140 on the back here if you want, a little rad with a fan, or you could have your all-in-one, so you can have your H70, 90s, whatever they are, a 105 at the top, which would have to go under that, a 105 at the front, but you would lose your trays, you'd have to move them. But then again, a lot of people these days just run in SSDs, and of course if you've got a couple of gig of SSD in there, who wants a noisy mechanical hard drive? If it's only a machine for gaming, you don't want to hold a lot of games. Easy as that. Silverstone do only supply one fan with this machine, which is the one you get in the front, and that really is a negative. And I have reviewed this case for another channel, and it did unfortunately knock a couple of points off, because this is actually £44 at Scan. I just checked, and for around the same price, you can look at the Regintech case, in which you get 7 fans. So okay, it's a different layout. It doesn't have the Silverstone logo on it, which does add weight, because you know they are a fantastic manufacturer, and they make some wonderful kit. But it would have been nice to see at least a rear fan, so you know, so your airflow is doing what it should be doing. Saying that, I did run this. I ran some tests on it. Standard on the CPU. We hadn't overclocked it, nothing like that. We just ran it, and they were perfectly reasonable. So it just shows you that with all the venting and stuff, it is actually quite a cool case. I was a little bit concerned because of all of the noise dampening often makes a difference, but not in this case. The exact numbers I don't know, but they weren't anything to be concerned about. So, in conclusion, Ren Gaming, what type of award are we going to give this? Well, it's cheap, 44 quid, it's made by Silverstone, and it is big enough for most people's builds, as you can see. I mean, we've only got we've got a M80X set up at the moment in here, but you could put a full ATX board in if you want, and you know, it would be fine. Negatives, no grommets, 1 fan in the front. So we're going to give it a silver award, and really, because of the value, 44 quid, case made by Silverstone, it's fantastic. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Questions or comments, pop them down here, and I will see you all very, very soon.